Rolling with the Rileys, yeah, we hit the road. Family on the move, yeah, adventure mode. Campfires, bikes, yeah, you know the vibe. Rolling with the Rileys, come along for the ride.
Welcome to Rolling with the Rileys.
Hey, Rolling with the Rileys fan. This video is brought to you by GameSir. GameSir sent us this controller here for the Nintendo Switch. My kids have a Nintendo Switch, which is right here. They have a Nintendo Switch, and when we go on our trips and stuff like that, they're in the back seat. Now they have a controller so they don't have to lose these things. So if anyone who knows that has a Nintendo Switch, know that these things, I forgot what they call it, I think they call them Joy-Cons. These Joy-Cons, they come off and you can lose them. Well, GameSir has a device in this box here that keeps you from having to take your Joy-Cons with you. It's a controller for your Nintendo Switch. And it also for the Nintendo Switch 2. So it comes in this container here that, holds it right in there. So I'm taking it right out now. And you take and you put your Nintendo Switch on it. So I'm going to put my Nintendo Switch on it, and it goes on just like that. Well, in this case, I put it on backwards, but it goes on just like that. And that's how it goes on. And you can just link it up to your Nintendo Switch and play the Nintendo Switch as you go on your trips and stuff. Give your kids some distraction while they're in the back seat so they won't be hitting you with, "Are we there yet?" type stuff. So, also, we didn't know this was coming. They actually sent this device, which if I can get it out the box, this is actually an XF5 thermoelectric cooler. So these devices do get warm. I don't know if they get hot anymore. I know back in the day, they used to get really, really warm. But they came up with a solution where you have these, and you just put this onto the back of your GameSir here, your controller. You stick that on the back, and then this is the battery, and you just put the battery on, and this is a fan that cools off your Nintendo Switch as you play it, and you just take it and you just play all day long. If you're interested in getting you one of these controllers and the cooler, the link will be in the description below. Thank you, GameSir, for sending us these particular devices. This is the FX5 and the X5S. Back to the video. All right. So, before we move on to the next campground, let's talk about, we totally forgot. In Kentucky, we actually went to Buc-ee's for the first time. I've never been to a Buc-ee's, and we have a video on that as well. You guys haven't watched that video, it's like less than 1,000 views on, so go watch that video.
Don't be shy, babe. We went to Buc-ee's a few times because that was our first time. That was our first time there, so we went there a few times. We went once and then we went back again. But yeah.
Yeah, Buc-ee's, because like you said, those brisket sandwiches, and we actually got the brisket one, the turkey one, and it was like a couple of different ones. We got all different variations. We actually froze it. We came home late on that summer, like a month later. I was going through the freezer, and I'm like, "Oh, a Buc-ee sandwich!" I was so happy, and I ate that sandwich. I didn't share with anybody because they didn't know nothing about it. So I found that was my treasure.
Yeah, but that was. Oh, my fresh.
But I did. So did Buc-ee's, and we also went to the Corvette Museum.
Yeah.
You remember the one, the one that had the sinkhole and all that, the National Corvette Museum. We have a video we filmed and everything there. We didn't put the video out. So if you guys want to see that video, let us know in the comments. We'll put it out there for you. If not, it'll just be our core memory. We just save for the kids. So just let us know in the comments if you want to see that video. But that was in Kentucky. Now, if I were to go back, like I said, I'm not going back to Jellystone, that particular Jellystone. But if I go back to Kentucky, I will find another one because they have other things there. Because I think Mammoth Cave has a campsite, and it also Mammoth Cave also is an attraction as well. I just forgot to mention any of that information, but it's all there. So Just wanted to bring that up. Anything you want to add?
No. Oh yeah, we found a mall not too far. Well, it was near the Corvette Museum. We got to go to a mall.
Yeah.
And a lot of malls in different areas are starting to shrink, right? They're starting to get more empty spaces, not as much going on in the mall. This particular mall that we did find near the Corvette Museum, it was a vibe. It had the stores were open. They had your traditional mall experience, full food court. They had stuff there for the kids to do, so it was really cool. And like we had mentioned earlier, when we went to Cave City, it was during their rainy. It was a rainy week. It rained the whole time. So we had to find a lot of activities that we could do that was inside in the mall was one thing that we did find and got to enjoy. So yeah.
So after that, we actually went on a cruise. So we did a cruise before we went to our next one, or did we go to the next one before we went to the cruise?
No, we ended the season with our cruise. We did Sycamore RV Park.
And so we did Sycamore RV Park was the next one. So in the Sycamore RV Park, we went to. So Sycamore RV Park is real close to us. So it wasn't a big thing for us to just go right real quick. So we actually went and picked up the camper and went to Sycamore, and that was probably less than 2 hours. The whole process. So we was there, and at the Sycamore RV, you can't book them online. You can send a request or an email to them, and then they'll hit you up and let you know if they got a spot. So when we initially tried to book with them, they told us they didn't have a spot. So we kind of wrote them off and was, doing our thing. And then they just hit us up like maybe a week later. It was like, hey, something came open. And then, we jumped on it, went there. And at Sycamore RV Park, there's a lot of seasonal people there. Like half the park, I will say even 75% of the park is seasonal people.
Yeah.
It's like a little area for just the normal day-to-day people. So when we got there, it literally was like maybe 1 or 2 spots open. And they put us in one of those spots, and it was next to a tree, which is fine and dandy, but we tried to roll out the awning. I couldn't get the awning fully out because of the tree. But, what you expect, we parked next to a tree, and there's no way to adjust it because they're tight. The spaces were tight. But we got in there. We was able to get in there, and they have a beach, a fishing pond. There is a clubhouse. There's a bike trail, local shopping nearby. So it was a new experience. Like we stayed close to Sycamore, and I didn't even know none of that was there because we never physically just got in our car and just went over there just to explore. But I didn't know any of that was there. But we was able to enjoy some things. And one of the things about it is, I never mentioned this on video, but my brother camper is stored near that park because he stays out in that area. So it's stored near that park. So as we were going through that park, we were like, hey, isn't that? We saw his camper on the bike path. So, yeah.
It's not as many kid-friendly, things dedicated to the kids. Like, they don't have a playground.
Right.
But they do have the beach, which was cool. So, for the timing that we went, it was perfect because the kids got to enjoy the beach. They had a nice basketball court, so the kids did get to enjoy that. They had a tennis, or I think that's tennis. I don't think that was pickleball. That was a tennis court.
Yes.
Like you said, they had the clubhouse. The clubhouse is stocked with books and things like that, games. And then the
let them know the clubhouse. There's a $10 deposit to get a key to the clubhouse.
Oh yeah, and then you get it. Yeah,
you get it back on the way out.
Yeah, and then the beach has a big path around it where you can ride your bike or walk the path. And then they also have a pond, which you can't get in the pond. You can walk around it though. You can walk around it or ride around it. And then, like you said, the bike path. The bike path was really cool, and it's connected to either a state or a big local park. So that was nice to have that right outside of the campground. And that bike path was actually one of the nicer bike paths, I think, that we went on. We were riding, and I was like, are those cows? Literally about 5-6 feet away from me. So that was pretty cool to see. And I that's definitely a bike path that I want to go back to. And it's nice because, to his point, it's local. It's not too far away. So we can hop up and run over there whenever, we feel the need to go camping, which is always.
And is that the one my mom went on?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one my mom actually went on. So we actually got to take her because she's never been in an RV or RV camping. So we was able to do the bike path, me and her alone, because the kids stayed with my mom. So we create memories for everybody. Sycamore, that's a win for me. We went. That's what we were talking about. That we were supposed to go back, and they sponsored us to come back. And Crystal Lake has this huge 4th of July fireworks show. And he told us to come back, sponsored us to come back. He put us in the best spot for the fireworks show next to the playground. And my mom, her brother, his wife, they all, and their kid, they all came. Everybody came. So we brought everybody there. And we got a chance to experience the fireworks. So everything was just like it was before. It was just warmer. So we was able, everybody got a chance to the beach. Yeah, we get in the water, the go-kart track. I still have tickets to the go-kart track right now because we had so many of them. So when I go back, go-kart track, we good. And we got a chance to ride around and do some stuff like that, get on the bikes and go on the bike trail, go a long distance. That was an amazing time. Their fireworks show, Ben told me that their fireworks show, last time they had it, smoked out the whole town, that the mayor and the fire department came over because they thought it was a fire. That's how big the fireworks show was. So we recorded the fireworks show when we went back, and of course it's in the video. It's the second Crystal Lake video. And it is an amazing fireworks show for a campsite to put on. Like it was like on the scales of a city fireworks show. Yeah. That's how big it was. Yeah. So I liked it. And
as the campground guest, you get a front row seat to that.
Yes.
Like, I don't think that I have ever experienced a fireworks show that live and in person. Like it's like you get a front row seat to the. We're not talking about a fireworks show that the city is putting on and you can see it from the campground. This is a fireworks show at the campground right there that you can sit at your camper and watch it live and in action. I will say, if you do have small kids, you might want to bring them headphones because you're that close to the fireworks. Yes. But other than that, it was amazing. It was awesome. Yes. Awesome.
I flew the drone up so I could see the fireworks eye level. So that was one of the things, and you'll see, our videos have drone footage and stuff, but flew it up so you can see that eye level. We was able to see it from where we were, and of course, Terry was there again. So that was amazing. Talked to Ben again. That's one of the things about it is they remember who you are. Oh, they have a cabin there. They have a cabin there that's in front of where you check in. That is one of the things that you can rent. Please inquire about that if you don't want to camp outside or not camp outside or have a camper or anything. They do have a cabin. And my understanding is very nice. It's a very nice cabin. I didn't get a chance to go into it, but talk to them about it. And they do care about their facilities. Their bathrooms is about the cleanest bathrooms I've ever seen anywhere. It's cleaner than the hospital bathroom. So they care about it. So if they bathrooms look that way, their pavilion look that way, I can imagine that cabin is probably, I don't know, it's probably one of the top ones.
I got to peek in there. It is a nice cabin. Okay. I didn't tour it or anything, but I did peek in the door and I saw it's a nice cabin. It has a kitchen, a bathroom, and then, I saw the living room area. So it's a nice cabin. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yep. And that was July around Independence Day. That's when we went there. And then after then, when we left Crystal Lake that time, did we stop by Starved Rock?
We did.
We stopped by Starved Rock. Yep. Starved Rock. So we went to Starved Rock, and we stopped there just for one night. Yeah, we didn't talk to anybody. We didn't get a chance to check in. We checked in online. So we checked in. The way we checked in, there was no paperwork. We didn't talk to anybody. We just pulled up. It told us what site we was. We got in our site, and that was it. We left the next day, and we didn't really get a chance to explore or anything like that. It was kind of like we passed through and stopped type of thing. kind of like, like in some of these places, you stop for a day and then you keep going type of thing. We stopped there, and the particular one we stopped at, the site wasn't large, but it was large enough for, my truck and the campers are probably about 40 feet, maybe 45 feet. It was large enough for 45 feet to put everything together. And we got there and we stopped there, and that was one of the places where we hooked up, and we were able to drain our tanks and flush our tanks, and use their facilities to just clean up the camper, because we know we were putting it away, because our next time we were going to get into it was going to be post cruise. Because after then we went on the cruise and we went to the Bahamas and Miami and those places out there. So we took a Carnival cruise. That was my first time on a Carnival cruise. Actually, the first time on any cruise. So I was one of those people with a blue card. If you didn't know, first time on a cruise on Carnival, you get a blue card, and then your next time going, your card is red. Red is my favorite color, so I'm gonna get a red card when I go back again. And this time when we went on a cruise, we went with her best friend and her family.
Hey, tell them what you had.
Yeah, and we went with them, and it was his first time being on the cruise as well. So it was kind of like we went on there, and I've heard some negative things about Carnival and all of the other stuff. I didn't experience any of that. None of that negative stuff. I will tell you, when we filmed, my first time going there, because I'm one of those people, I need to know my environment. I walked the entire ship, everywhere that passengers are allowed to be. I walked and filmed it because I wanted to see what was going on by being my first time. And I did this when we was at the dock in Miami. So that was my first time in Miami too, by the way. So we actually arrived in Miami a day before. So we were there in Miami a day before. I got a chance to go to some of the places. Like, I've never been to a Publix. That was in Miami. And she got some fruit from Publix that the first day. And she was like, this is the best fruit I've had. I've never been to one. So
yeah, I love Publix. Like, we need those here.
Yeah. So sometimes I partake in cigars. And I found a place that they sold cigars for really cheap. Like up here, certain cigar sticks up here are $30-$40. This particular place had the same cigars in a humidor for like $14, like 50% of the price off. So I was able to grab a couple of those when I was there. I'm not saying Miami was cheaper. I'm just saying it's based on your environment and where you're at. Certain things are a bit cheaper. We went to where we at, Burlington. Burlington was way bigger than the ones up here. And Burlington actually had a whole section where they had food. Like they have sections up here with food. It was like maybe 1 or 2, but there was a whole like section off in the corner that was just nothing but food type things at Burlington. If I'm not mistaken, we still probably have some of them cookies if you ain't throwing them away. Because we didn't even eat them because we had so much stuff. But that was just Miami experience, the first part of Miami experience before we got on the cruise. And once we got on the cruise, remember I walked around and all of that. I enjoyed it. I'm going back. I'm going to do another cruise. The staff was very friendly. I mean, there's so much stuff to eat. You can eat all day long. I didn't get the drink package. I'm not a drinker, so I didn't get the drink package. But besides that,
we got the internet package.
We did get the internet package.
Yeah, we did. Neither one of us had the drink package.
Yeah.
But we did get that internet package, which it came in handy because I needed to be able to contact my babies and stay in touch with my businesses. So I had to get the internet package.
Yeah. And while we were there, one of our tenants had an issue and they was able to contact us and we get that settled. We all in the water, away from America. And we was able to settle. So the internet package does work. We as we mentioned on the video, if you go and buy the internet package and y'all have multiple devices, you don't need to get one for each device. You don't need to do that. Because the internet can be shared amongst each device. It's just one device at a time. So that's the key to it. So if both y'all need to be on at the same time, let's say both y'all work from home, y'all need to be on it at the same time, then you need to buy it twice. But if y'all just, y'all are truly on vacation, just buy it one time. You don't need to get it twice. So And then once you got into the islands and stuff like that, if depending on your cell phone service, some of the cell phone service did work. Ours worked out there. So we just added international travel to ours. And that's what it. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they have a passport, right? One of them. Okay.
No, you don't need one for
Yeah, I don't think you needed a passport to do. We had ours, but I don't think you need one to get there.
But it made it easier, like to get on the boat and get off the boat and stuff like that. So having a passport was beneficial for sure. But you don't need one for a cruise. I would say most cruise lines you don't need it. You just have to check with your particular cruise line that you're cruising with.
Right. And like the security to get on the cruise, and, they have the dog. They actually line you up and they have the dog smell you and the pack. Your whatever you're carrying on. The dog smell you for contraband or whatever they need to, whatever they checking for. They check that.
That was different.
Yeah, that was definitely
my cruises that I've been on before. I don't remember ever going through that and feeling the way I felt. I felt like I was dirty, like I did something. But I get why they do it because people are people. Yeah. But I had never experienced it at that level. I remember going through the detectors and stuff like that, but I don't remember having to be in a lineup and having the dog sniff me. So that was different.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna tell you from what I saw, or what I smelled, rather. It didn't stop people because the smell was still there. So I don't know. That's probably they doing that for their own personal thing, but it ain't stopping people.
At your own risk.
Yeah, they do it at your own risk. We didn't do it. We don't do that. We didn't take anything. But I will tell you, one of the things I did like about the cruise is that there's an adult pool. The adult pool, they literally will not let a kid get in. I saw a kid step his toe in there and it was on him like he had broke all the rules. So there's an adult pool and it's a saltwater pool. So if you walking around with any fake jewelry, it's a saltwater pool. And I've seen some of these companies advertise all jewelry don't fade in the shower and all the other stuff. That saltwater will get that jewelry. Don't ask me how I know. But it is what it is. So and then getting off the boat and going over to these different islands and stuff like that. These islands are particular to each cruise line. Therefore, when you go to these particular islands, they're set up specifically for cruise passengers. You don't have to worry about your safety or anything like that because it's basically owned by the cruise line. Now they have like gates and stuff like that. If you go outside of the gate, you're on your own. Basically, you're allowed to do that. Just make sure you back by the time they go back to the ship. They tell you what time you need to be back to the ship, but that type of stuff.
And we were one of the first or second boats to go to Celebration Keys, and you'll see that in our video, which is a newly built section of the island, of the cruise port, I should say. And it was nice. It was really nice. It was like a parade welcoming us when we got there. We saw it was nice. It was really nice. We did an excursion in this particular case. Next time I won't do an excursion. I want to stay there and enjoy the full experience of Celebration Keys. I want to get maybe a cabana and just really enjoy it. And next time I do a cruise, I definitely want to take my kids. That's something I really want my kids to get to experience. I didn't get to experience the cruise until later in life, just like my husband. But we definitely want to bring that experience to our kids so that they are well traveled. That's why we're doing what we do on this channel, especially for the kids, to build those memories and to introduce them to different things in life.
Yes. So it was called a Carnival Conquest. That's the ship we was on. Like it. All right. So the next one, so it was a while before we got it to another one because that's when the kids started back to school. The kids went back to school in August. And then, we got them settled in school and all of that. And, Labor Day and all that stuff. We went through all of that. So after that, the next one was around my youngest child's birthday, which was in October. We went to a campsite that we're not going to name, but we went there and we enjoyed their Halloween or October festivities. I don't know if they call it Oktoberfest. I don't know what they call it, but we enjoyed that, where you were able to, walk each row of camping, each row of the campsite, and they had people sitting out there with tables and adult fun. Whatever adult fun you want to be into, they had it out there, and you can grab it and just go campsite to campsite to campsite and just do that. They also had, giving out candy for the kids, and this campsite was massive. So that was a lot of walking around. We met some cool people. When we first got there, we met a couple who was right next to us. They're seasonal. They put us on a golf cart and had us and toured us around the whole campsite, took us in secret paths and all that stuff. It's in the video, but we met them and we enjoyed our time with them as well. We was able to ride around at night and see all of the, the characters and stuff that were lit up at nighttime. They had activities for the kids. They had, it was a pool there, but it wasn't open.
Right.
They did up when it was October because, up here, how it goes. So they had a pool that wasn't open. They had a basketball court, a playground. They had, a little park area that was further out that you can go out and play in and all of that stuff. Hay rides and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed this particular one. We actually got a chance to meet the owner. And it's one of those situations where I've never been to a campsite where they had the, I guess you want to say, the treat scroll or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they call it, what the official name of it is, but they had that where you can walk down each one of the aisles. I never experienced that, and I would love to experience that again. The kid was able to come with us, and my brother-in-law came as well, and his family. So we all got, and also our cruise buddies came. Yeah. They came too. So we was able to have everybody there with us. That was the first time on video that I cooked on video and had people taste it. I've cooked on other videos before. I have an ASMR video when I cook, and you can see on some other video I was cooking breakfast and all that stuff. But this is the first time I cooked something a little bit different, and I had people test it, and they told me their true opinion on video. So, and I think that was one of the first videos where we actually had a sponsored spot. Where when I say sponsored spot, we introduced like a camping light or something like that. That was one of the first videos of that. We appreciate everybody who watches us, everybody who comments. We appreciate each and every one of you guys, everyone who is subscribed to us. We appreciate you all. So if y'all are still rolling with it, if y'all still around right now, and this video is kind of long, but if y'all still around, thank you so much. I know this is a little bit different than what we usually do, camping activities and all this stuff. We just wanted to get on here and just talk to you guys, just to make sure you guys understand that we're still just normal people. We're not, if you want to talk to us, our emails is in our descriptions and stuff. So if you want to talk to us, just send us an email. We read every email you guys send. So if you send us an email and you want to talk to us, we can talk to you. And we're not unreachable. So that's all I have to say.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and close this out. Thank you so much for watching Rolling with the Rileys. Peace.